seems stranger than usual, they're eating massive quantities of plant.
Here's your chai pie.
Have you seen this man?
Follow the birds. He always goes after the birds when they sing a pretty song.
Got you. God, them artists. They're always looking for a way to escape.
Hello? Hello? Who is this? Who are you?
My name is Kiana Kazemi, and my film is called In Dreams.
Perfect. So tell me about it. Tell me what was the inspiration behind the film. Obviously, I can tell you're a huge David Lynch fan. That was spoke to my heart, and he's obviously one of the geniuses of film. So I'd love to hear more about it.
Yes, of course. I mean, I come from a family that's very inspired by film, and especially my older sister, she's a filmmaker and she inspires me a lot. And she was always a very huge David Lynch fan. And for the first times I saw his films, I was like, I don't really understand it, and I was very confused. And she once showed me Blue Velvet, and right at the 5 ending minutes of that film, everything just shifted for me, like my opinion of David Lynch shifted. And when I saw this competition, I noticed that the deadline for the film was 16th of January. And immediately I remembered that that was the day he passed away.
Wow.
So I went to my sister and I said, okay, so you're very inspired by David Lynch. You made me inspired by him. How about I write a script and I act in it because I'm mainly an actress? And you that are so good at directing, you help me and we direct this film together. And she said, yeah, let's do it. That sounds amazing. And then I prepared everything. I bought the props and everything. And at the last minute, something personal happened in her life. And she said, sorry, Kiana, I can't do this with you. And I was panicking. I was like, who's going to film me do it? And then I ended up just filming myself. And I had no help. I had no other help me. So I had to press record and stand in front of the camera and act and pray that it goes well. And this was my first time directing as well. So yeah, I just did it, and I'm glad I did because it was a very good learning experience for me. And what I was basically inspired by was that for me, the reason I love art so much and the reason I love cinema is because really I think that art is the only way that we get to live forever. And art is what makes us immortal. And it's so important to create art because I think as humans, we're always trying to find a way to find a remedy towards death and to live forever. And when you make art that is so influential that you impact people's lives on such a high degree, even after you pass away, you are remembered and you are alive in a sort of way. Even if one person is inspired by your work and they remember you and they think of you, then for that split second, you are living and you're alive, you know? So I wanted that to be the central message of the film that art and inspiration makes us live on forever. And I hope that people remember David Lynch when they see my film and he lives on for a little bit through my film. So yeah, that was what it was about.
Oh my God, that's beautiful. And that's definitely, there's definitely a difference between how Europeans see film and how Americans see film. I think, uh, that's a whole
Yeah.
other thing, but that is so beautiful. And I definitely feel like the idea of mortality affects a lot of us and our ideas. I recently just made a movie about like being a vampire. So obviously that's like the immortal being and what that truly means and what it really means to live forever. And art is so powerful. And even when I was in Berlin, I was going to all those art museums and it's so gorgeous and how it'll live on forever and all those ideas and how it's art will always be, but I mean before film and before news and before everything, art was the only way to really look into the past and see how people lived. And that's how we will be viewed and our movies will be viewed. And because who knows the technology that'll be in, who cares if anyone, who knows if anyone will even care about like writing stories the traditional way. So what you made was so beautiful and David Lynch does it and you did it in such a way. You did it. It could have been a David Lynch movie. You could have fooled me for sure.
Oh,
Um,
no.
You did it in such a way where it makes you think and it makes you like feel it deep inside, you know, how David makes it feel. Like
Thank
you,
you.
and yeah, tell me about like the production and getting those props and what props you thought you needed to really encapsulate the David Lynch spirit.
Yes, well, thank you firstly for your very kind words. And yeah, the prop, I mean, I'm very obsessed with props. I love a good prop. And I went first, I researched a lot about his films and little props from his films. I wanted to like pay homage to him. So if you show this film to someone who hasn't seen his film, it wouldn't really make sense. But I mean, his love of coffee and donuts in Twin Peaks, I had that in my film. The poster is the missing man poster is again from Twin Peaks. The rabbit head is from another movie of his. I mean, obviously the most obvious one, the blonde wig, and the brunette is Mulholland Drive. The hardest prop to find was actually I researched a lot about the exact tape recorder he used in Twin Peaks, and it was so hard to find. I had to go to eBay and look a million like sites, and finally I found the exact replica for the tape recorder. So I'm gonna keep that with me forever. And it was such a nice prop to have. And yeah, there are lots of homages like that. And in terms of production, I first found the props and I formed the idea. I wrote the script, and I think a very important part of filmmaking for me is storyboarding because I love drawing, and I feel like if you plan everything, the more you do in pre-production, I think the better your chances are of making a good film because everything is organized, and I just love detail by detail, shot by shot, drawing how I see it first and making that visual image come to my head and then filming it. So I'm really glad I did that. And yeah, and then I shot it, and my sister helped me edit it because my editing is not good. But yeah, everything else was good.
Amazing. Amazing. I love that you put so much detail in finding these objects and really people could just pay homage and you really just like you really went for it. And I can feel that. I can feel it in the movie. Um, Also, yeah, what's it like to just make your first film? Like what did you learn? What were the big learning experiences?
Oh my God. Well, whatever the outcome was, or whether something is good or bad, I'm just proud of myself because as a kid, I was always like a very lazy person or a quitter. I was always afraid of failure. I never started something because the thought of making something bad or failing was very hurtful to me. So I just never did anything. And as I grow up, I realize that life is so short. And, there's this quote that it says, fail, fail again, fail better. And that is just my motto that you don't have to even be successful at something. It's just doing it over and over again, and you'll learn something along the way. And in filming this film, I remember before uploading it, I saw some other productions and I was like, everyone has a whole crew and these like big cameras, and I felt so silly for uploading this film. But then I was like, no, it's fine because I tried, and I learned so many things. For example, I never ever could imagine how important sound is to film. And then I shot the film and then I was looking at what I shot, and the sound was so horrible that we had to reshoot all the sounds one by one and add it in post-production. So that's such a big lesson to learn, or very little details that you just learn through doing, and then next time it's going to be even better. So, yeah, I think the process matters more than the outcome. Just having fun with it.
Absolutely. And I hope there is a next time because you have such an eye for storytelling. I loved those shots in the diner where you get the close-ups of people eating and her just saying like, they're you said that they're like doing something more this time I'm at the diner. And I'm like, this is so creepy. I want to live in this world. I'm like, I want this to be a feature film. So I hope now you know you have that talent and you have that arsenal where you could just create. And it's such a powerful thing to be an actress and a filmmaker because now you really who else do you need? Now you know. You can write, you can act, you can edit, you can prop hunt, you can do wardrobe. So you're a one-man army. And I feel
Oh,
like that's the spirit of filmmaking now because you don't obviously it would have been nice to have your sister and even my films I only do with like four people because I have no money to film with, but even with that crew and people who believe in you, you can do anything to an extent.
yes, for sure. Wow, thank you for your kind words. It means a lot.
Oh, of course. I really hope you continue making movies. And even full honesty, a lot of those big crew shorts that sent us their films, they were good and the production values there, but the people that it was just their idea and they just went for it themselves because they just felt like they had to make a movie, those are the ones you feel the most because you feel how inspired they are and I think like one of the other top people I was talking to yesterday in the Zoom interview, he's from Brazil and he was like, I had no one to make this film with, so I just made it myself in a day. And again, like you, he was like full preparation. He's like, I have shot listed everything and everything, and you can feel it, and you can feel. I'm like that all just translated to the screen, and that was just like your film.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Um, yeah, tell me more about how you started acting. I want to hear how your story began.
Yes, yes. I'm originally Persian. So I grew up with a Middle Eastern family, and As you know, Middle Eastern families, they always want you to either be a lawyer or a businessman, and that is the path they expect of you. But I got my bachelor degree in business, and I realized that this is not what makes me happy. And if I don't take a risk now and go after what I'm truly passionate about, then it gets harder and harder every year to follow my dreams. And acting has always been what's inspired me, and filmmaking also. But acting specifically because I think that the world needs empathy, especially now in a world that is so dark and so full of hate and war and everything. We need people to get closer together and love one another. And the only way to do that is to have empathy, to look at the person in front of you and understand where they're coming from and their background. And I just want to, through acting, again, have a performance where even if one person can feel really comforted and relaxed that I'm not alone in feeling this way, and there's someone else who feels exactly the way I do. And that's my goal in acting and also filmmaking, that I can just show people that they're not alone in this world and that we can come together as humans and make a very beautiful and loving place, not to sound cheesy, but yeah.
No, no, that's not cheesy at all. I think that's what the majority of us want. I mean, film is entertainment, and I feel like it's always been like a a distraction to the real world, and that's our job, make people happy and give them something to talk about and give them some hope in the world where sometimes there is none.
Yes, exactly, exactly.
And even how you started, like how did you begin acting? How old were you? What inspired you to act?
Yeah, I think my biggest inspiration, I think this is many people's inspiration, but Heath Ledger, I'm very obsessed with Heath Ledger and his performance in The Dark Knight. I think when I first saw it, I was like 16, 17, and it just blew my mind. And I always had it in the back of my head that I really wanted to pursue acting, but I started my sister for her first short film. She came up to me and she said, I need an actress. So I acted in her first short film, but then I didn't really think of much of it. And then a few years later, after I finished my bachelor degree, I really decided to pursue it full time, and I went to London and I studied at Lambda and RADA, and I'm going back next year to study a master's at University College London, which coincidentally is where Christopher Nolan graduated, the director of The Dark Knight. So it was just like a whole
Well,
circle moment. So yeah, but I'm not like big or anything. I'm just starting out, but yeah, I'm trying to study and get my resume going.
amazing. I love that. Yeah. Tell me, were there any fun stories from the set? Like any things that almost went wrong, that could have went wrong, and you put on your producing hat and you're like, oh shit, how do we fix this? And then you fixed it.
Yeah, I mean, um, a funny story actually was that I didn't know that you can't shoot anywhere. Like you have to have a permit. And then there was, first of all, I just wrote the script thinking that I could wear anything outside, and then I realized I wrote the script with me in a dress, and the weather was like -2. And then the entire film, those scenes outside, I'm freezing to death. I am in ice heels and I'm in a dress, and it's like freezing. There's snow around me. So I was just freezing so much. And then this funny story was that I had my sister come camera for one scene, and we were in the car, and we went to my neighbor's house because one of the guy actors is my neighbor, I asked. And we shot outside his house, and then we were driving back to my house, and a police car just started flashing his light before my car, and I was really freaked out because I've never been pulled over. And then my sister, right at that moment, she turns to me and she says, Kiana, you know it's illegal to film without a permit. And I say, why'd you tell me this now when there's a cop behind me? And then I was just freaking out. And then the cop pulls over and he brings the window down. And then he says, "You have your driver's license with you?" I'm like, "No, I don't have it. I don't have my driver's license." And I was like, before he could speak, I was like, "I swear to God, I wasn't doing anything legal. I can show you my camera. Like, it's just a film. Like, please don't arrest me." And he's like, "No, don't worry. It's fine. We've just had a call that there's a weird guy going around and you're fine. You can go." But I was just in that moment, I was like, if I get arrested for this film, I swear to God. But I didn't. So that was very lucky. And yeah, that's a fun story I have. And many other things like contacting the diner. Like I contacted so many diners for one to allow me to film in one. So I was very lucky that shout out to Flame Berlin. They allowed me to film there. And yeah, a lot of different stuff went wrong, but they're fun because then you can, calm down and find out ways to fix them. So they're actually good things to have, good obstacles to have.
Amazing. I love it. Let me think if I have any other questions, but I was just so moved by that movie. And I can't wait to see. I hope you create more. Are those the type of stories you like to do, like very Lynchian type things, or tell me more about what you like to do?
Yeah, well, I mean, me and my sister have very different tastes. We've started a production company together, and I would admit up her alley. She's very good at like visual stuff and these kind of surreal films, and I also love them. But my taste is maybe more films like Bicycle Thieves or The 400 Blows, or very films that are more subtle in a way, I guess. So we have very different tastes, but the good thing is about filmmaking that you can like many different things and you can do many different projects. So maybe for my own next film, I would if it was me alone, I would do something more like that. But I'm very glad to have this experience because I also love David Lynch and surreal films. And yeah, I love many different kinds of films.
I love that. I love Bicycle Thieves is amazing. That inspired me when I was in college, and I did like a short film inspired by Bicycle Thieves.
Really?
Yeah.
I would love to see that.
Oh God, no, it's so bad. But it's been so nice talking to you. And so I told you about the post. So if you can send me like a downloadable, oh, the link you sent me might be downloadable. Let me see. Maybe
Which thing? Oh,
for your film. Oh no. Yeah, if you
uh,
can send me a downloadable link for your film so we can post like the highest quality on our Instagram
mhm.
and just a headshot of yourself because we're gonna have like a little spotlight post of you. That's it. And then we'll let the winners know in July. There'll be like a similar post of like a top five, I guess. And then we'll do the top three and then money will be given.
Perfect. That sounds amazing. I mean, regardless of what happens, it's a very good idea. I don't know who came up with this idea, but it was my first film challenge, and I think it's so fun to be motivated to do something and be a part of something, especially for such. Thank you for giving us this opportunity. It was really a pleasure.
Thank you for taking it. We didn't know how many people would do it, and to be honest, not many people did as much as we thought we'd get. But you did it, and I'm glad that it's already going to be hard with like I thought it was going to be like hundreds of submissions, and it was going to be super hard to pick, and we got like 75, and it's still super hard to pick a winner because a lot of good artists
Of
out there, and
course, of
that's so
course.
amazing to see.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. But it was a pleasure, really.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And yeah, keep making art. I'm excited to see your next movies and we'll stay in touch.
For sure. Thank you for talking to me. It was lovely.
Thank
Have a
you.
very nice day.
Have a beautiful day. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.